Brittany, what's going on?
What's going on? I miss you. It's so much fun that we're getting back into the swing of things. Derby 150. Cannot wait. Can't wait to see Churchill Downs, by the way.
I think this is the first time we've ever done anything where I think you're somewhere out there. I can see you, I think.
I'm a stone's throw away from you rather than across the entire country.
There you go. Well, you said Derby 150, a historic one. What are your thoughts on Catching Freedom? I'd like to think that somewhere Brad Cox has a Kentucky Derby, a traditional Kentucky Derby with his name on it.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Flavie and Pratt, right? I think both of them really want that thrill in the moment of winning the Kentucky Derby. With Catching Freedom, I feel very in the middle with this horse. I feel like there's a lot of positives. Obviously, the Louisiana Derby has been such a productive race, especially over the last few years. He's raced well at Churchill Downs, having won there, so he knows the track. And having gone the mile and 3/16 in the Louisiana Derby, you would think that getting a mile and a quarter is no issue. All of that being said, though, it's his running style. I feel like in this age where you don't have those crazy speedsters that we used to have with now this point system, you're not going to get a wicked pace. I know we saw what Rich Strike did a couple of years ago, but I don't feel like that's going to play out in Derby 150. So he's not as tactical as I would like him to be going into that first turn. But hey, Brad Cox did say he's not going to break as slow as he did in the last race. But I'm just concerned that he's going to be that horse that's, mid-pack or further behind. And he's grinding it out, but maybe doesn't get there in time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's some pluses and there's some minuses, right? I mean, I think that when it comes to the question that all of them have to answer is, do they want to go a mile and a quarter? He's kind of answered it with the mile and 3/16 win. You like to think that he'll be finishing his race, but I'm not a huge fan of closers in the Derby. They need everything to kind of go their way.
Right. No, I couldn't agree with you more. And that's why when you look at a horse like Fierceness, yes, everybody's talking about him because he's one of the fastest. And if he's on his A game, he's very tough to beat, but he's tactical. And I think that's what really works in his favor. When you talk about the post position draw as well, I mean, where do you want Catching Freedom to be? Probably on the outside so he doesn't get so shuffled back and mitts horses going into that first turn. I feel you on the closers. I think it's really, really hard. You have to have a perfect setup. And how do you get a perfect setup in a field of 20? It's not as likely.
You need them to go really, really fast. And I think you make a great point. Since the point system, these sprinters just aren't there. They're not in there being as disruptive as they've been in the past. And things just have to really go their way. As far as he goes, I do trust horses that have shown some consistency at different racetracks. Like he doesn't have to have, that's nice to know. He doesn't have to have everything go his way.
Yeah, he takes his racetrack with him, and I think that you make a great point there. Obviously, he broke his maiden at Churchill Downs, so we know he likes the track there. He's run well at Oaklawn Park and obviously at the fairgrounds. So for me, a horse that can take their track with them, that says a lot about their mental maturity as well. And when you talk about Kentucky Derby Day, especially Derby 150, there's a lot that has to go right from a mental perspective as well. So the ability to bring your track or bring your race with you, I should say, is a huge benefit to Catching Freedom. You've got great connections put together. Albaugh, Brad Cox, Flavie, and Pratt, they were all together last year with Angel of Empire, who went off and finished third. So you have the backing to make a great horse. And you know what I also feel like? A horse that is slowly progressing into their best form, which this horse is doing, especially from a numbers standpoint. Maybe we haven't seen his best yet. Maybe that's another feather in his cap that, unlike some other horses like a Fierceness, who has run a huge number, maybe Catching Freedom is slowly getting to his best. You want to peak on the first Saturday in May.
These mini pods are brought to you by Free Reign Coffee Company. They've been powering the In the Money team throughout the Triple Crown prep season, and the coffee is fantastic. Whether you're looking for whole beans, grounds, or pods, Free Reign give you what you need to get up and get after it. And they've got subscriptions available too, so you never run out. Use our promo code MONEY20 for a 20% discount site-wide over at freereigncoffee.com. During Kentucky Derby week, you can get $10 money back if your win selection runs second or third. For all the information, check out twinspires.com.
So, feet to the fire. Are you a Catching Freedom believer? Do you feel like maybe an underneath type? Or are you thinking maybe Haskell Travers type down the road?
1,000% underneath type. I think this is the type of horse that will be picking off horses late. And as I said before, he might be progressing to get to that best victory, or best run, I should say. I don't know if it's going to be enough based off of his running style to win on the first Saturday in May.
Well, the most important question is, do we have our Derby and Oaks outfits ready for NBC?
No. Simple answer, no. Finding the Derby hats and Oaks hats are always difficult, but I've reached out to a lot of, incredible milliners. So let's hope that by Friday and Saturday, I'll have something put together.
Well, we'll let you go so you can take care of the important part. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Thanks so much, JK.